most contentious issue was fullback.
Yeah.
Run through why you went with Teddy over Dylan.
Yeah, it was a tough call. Obviously, both those players deserved to be in the squad, but we could only find a place for one. There was some discussion around whether one of them may have been on a bench, but we didn't think that was the right fit. So, in the end, Teddy got the job. Just more around how we want to play. But yeah, Dylan has done nothing wrong. It's just the style of footy we want to play in game one.
The difficult calls to make. How did Dylan take it?
As you can imagine, a professional. He's such a well-liked player in person. I spoke to him after the game last night. Obviously disappointed, but you know, if anything sort of happens further down the track, and you know, we need to call on Dylan, then we know we've got a really good player coming into our squad.
You shocked a few with Tolu Cooler as well. Can you take us through that decision?
Yeah, he's someone we've been tracking for quite a while, and someone that we think has got the game to suit Origin. He's played test matches for Tonga. He's played close to 100 games NRL. Physically, he's really strong, and he's got gas. And in Origin, especially when they're about moments, sometimes the difference between winning and losing is just a bit of speed. Yeah, he's a guy that we've got every confidence and faith in.
He's obviously played a lot in the centres.
Yeah.
What gives you confidence that he'll be starting to go on the wing?
Why
did you pick him on the wing?
Oh yeah, I think there's a few reasons. One, we know he'll handle it. You know, and when you've played in the centres, yes, there is some difference between centre and wing, but he's also played fullback, so he understands like what a defensive system looks like. He understands when a winger needs to drop back, when he needs to stay up in the line. So that won't be an issue for him. Obviously, like anything, when you're playing in a different position, decisions that need to be made in defence are crucial. But speaking to Kieran Foran at Manly, and he's done such a wonderful job in a short space of time, and Kieran has got no doubt in the world that if given an opportunity, then he was going to handle it. So that was enough for us to make the call with him.
I haven't looked at the stats yet, Roz, but it could be the two shortest wingers in Origin history. Is that a concern at all?
No. I think Brian's the best winger in the game. So I don't think height's got anything to do with it. And I think that Tolu has played fullback, good under a high ball. If they want to kick, they can kick. We've seen it before, so nothing will faze our guys. As I said, Tolu, like any rookie, he'll be nervous, but they've got a few as well. So they won't have it all their own way.
Just one kind of classic prop on the bench, and Victor Radley's probably a bit of a surprise when people saw the team this morning. What were you thinking in the makeup of that?
Yeah, I think for us it was just a combination of going to get the right balance between power and mobility, and with three forwards like front rowers, you've got that rotation. So you know, you've got Yowie that plays 80 minutes, Cam Murray can play 80 minutes, and Radley can play in the middle, but he also gives us good protection on an edge. You know, Cam can play on an edge, but you're probably more inclined to use Victor in that role if required. Could have gone a back rower, but both the back rowers, Amoli and Hudson, both play 80 minutes, so you're reluctant to change. But if something happens, you need someone to be able to go into that position, and we just feel with Victor he can do that, and he gives us a bit more flexibility by doing that, but also playing through the middle.
Victor has a bit of a tendency to see the red mist. Do you like him wanting to get angry when he comes on, or do you want to hold him back a bit?
I picked Victor to be Victor.
So there's no conversation you need to have about
No, I don't have to have a conversation with Victor. I love everything he brings. He brings intent, and he brings a physicality, and I think a lot of people, when they've watched Victor Radley over the last few years, would have loved to have seen him on this arena. And now he's eligible. in game one, I don't think there's a better time to give him that chance. Good person, good qualities I'm after. So he's someone I'm really looking forward to working with.
What was his reaction to when you did let him know that he'd be in the side?
Well, I reckon you could guess what he said, and what he said was exactly what I was looking for. So that excites me.
There are a lot of question marks around Stephen Crichton and his form coming into the Origin series. What went behind your decision with Stephen Crichton?
I trust Critter. He's in my opinion, one of the great leaders. People follow him. And I thought he's been playing good footy. Unfortunately for him, the Bulldogs aren't playing well. But I think Critter, there's no issues from my end. He was always going to be in the team.
You spoke about the style of footy being a reason why you picked Dylan. Has that got anything to do with the speed of playing? What did you mean by that?
I think it's just Dylan and Teddy play different football. Teddy's more dynamic, and Dylan gets through a mountain of work. So just with what we want to do when we have the ball, I think we need to do a bit more. And that's not to say Dylan doesn't do that, but we just feel like the spine with Teddy, connection he's got with Robson, Moses and Cleary on either side, just gives us a few more opportunities to create a few more points.
Have you got much of an indication, Loz, about how this game will be refereed and the interpretation of the 6 against? How much of that did your team selection factor in?
Yeah, no, I don't know how it's going to be refereed. If it's going to be refereed like the NRL, well, obviously you've got to have that mobility, and hence we've sort of gone down that path. But you still need to go forward. So, we could have gone with 4 genuine front rowers, but we believe that we've got enough go forward there with the 3 big men, plus the littler guys can play through the middle. Yowie can play through 80 minutes. As I said, Cam Murray can play 80 minutes. You've got Victor there that can play long minutes, plus play on an edge. You've got a lot of players, and Ethan Strange, if we needed him to play 13, he could do that. You've got Brayley that can play through the middle if required, and Robson could go back and play a 13 role. So, we think we've got enough mobility in our team to counter however it's going to be officiated.
How close were Jacob Preston and Angus Crichton in back row?
They were really close. But Hudson's been arguably the best back rower, and I think Hamoli over the last 6 weeks has just been demanding selection. So hard to deny. He gets an opportunity. Hamoli was there a couple of years ago, but he came off the interchange bench. So for him to be starting, I think he'd be thrilled with that.
What about Jackson Ford?
Jackson's another one we thought about. He's sort of that mobile sort of player. But I get back to the fact that we needed someone that could play on an edge if required, and Jackson's probably the guy that just plays through the middle. So the balance of the squad, different personalities. There's always some people that are unlucky, but at the end of the day, we feel like this is a really good team.
How are your confidence levels this morning, Laurie?
Yeah, no, good. Really excited. I think, you just get, you come into camp, you get ready to go, the team settled, hopefully everyone gets through their medicals, and you just go to work on trying to win the game. So I'm excited about the 6 guys having the opportunity to represent New South Wales for the first time. It's an amazing feeling, and when you make those phone calls to those guys, anyone that tells you that people aren't passionate about playing for New South Wales, they should have been on the end of those phone calls, because I know what it means to them. They know what it means to them, and the state will know what it means to them after next Wednesday night.
How much does last year linger in your mind? That was result?
It lingered for a while, but certainly not in my mind now. I think you take a lot out of it. It takes its toll on you straight after it, and it takes you a while to get over it. But when the new year rolls around and you've got to focus on what you need to do and how to get this team ready, it's been where it's at. So I'm really excited. I think everyone in New South Wales should be excited because it's a good team. They'll be prepared well and go out and play their best footy.
Well, how much of a blessing is it? Like you mentioned Adin and Victor not being eligible for. I think Casey McLean is
Yes.
Hughes as well. How much of a is that? Like, I guess you're not throwing guys into rep football without any experience before.
Yeah, I think with those guys, they've all played footy at obviously different levels. Casey's played for the Kiwis. Adam's played for Tonga. And Victor's played for England, but he's also played in grand finals. So, they'll handle it, but just it adds a bit more depth, I suppose, to selections. And, we're very happy that we can give them the opportunity to represent New South Wales. And, all three of them, when I spoke to them, were very excited. They're all passionate. They're all in on New South Wales, which they needed to be. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been selected.
Laurie, 8 days in camp, is there anything you're going to do to change things up, to change the routine, different things that you might have not done before?
I don't think there's too many things that we will do differently in terms of our prep, but certainly changing things up, having a different camp. There will be changes that we will play or make to the way we're going to play. But other than that, no, it'll be sort of down to doing our work throughout the week, making sure the guys have a good time away from footy. It's keys to relax, connect really well with each other, and to try and get the timing right for Wednesday week.
You mentioned the medicals. Is there anyone in particular that you're worried about? It looks like Fred's been playing for a bit of time.
My understanding of it is that they all will be good. There's a few little bumps and bruises, but that'll be assessed at lunchtime. But I'm expecting them all to be there by the end of the day. Yeah.
The fact that Tony Staggs hasn't played for 3 weeks,
Yeah.
is that concerning at all? Or was he in because Latrell is out, or take us through that?
No, the Broncos have always been confident that they've always been confident the rest was going to do Katoni good. While they would have preferred him to play, he's been carrying a little bit of an injury, so it's just given him time to heal. So he'll be fresh, and that excites me too because Katoni over the last 18 months has, he's played in the grand final, played for Australia, and he's a competitor. So, coming into this team, he's in no better form than what he's ever been in. So. He comes in with great confidence. All good. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.